Hey, it's David Perdue from mynamps.com and the Novice to Advanced Marketing System. This is our weekly live training. I think we are all set and ready to go. We're continuing our Webinar Jam weekly live training, and we're not doing GoToWebinar anymore. And you can see today that we have Carol Bremner is with us down here in the little box on the bottom. Hi, Carol. Here you are. Thank you. Carol has been a NAMster for a long time. You've probably been to 8 of them, I think.
All but the first one.
Oh, so that's wow, that's 10 of them. So good job. Wow. And Carol brings her entire family with her. I mean, we've had half her family as aides at the workshop, at least. And I think it was 3 or 4 times ago that your mother was there and made an ebook sale while she was at the workshop at 84 years old. Is that correct?
Yes. Now she's 89 and she's still doing it.
She's still doing it. I love it. I love that. All right. So Carol is going to actually show us some really interesting things about creating an internet newspaper, and she's going to do it mostly live today. So I'm going to turn over the screen to her. And Carol, would you mind telling folks how you got started, where you are first, and what you've been doing, and how you got into this too?
Okay. Well, I was in my mid-40s and working at a library, and the library computerized, and I thought, at my age, there's no way I can learn these machines, so I transferred to the campus daycare. And I was there for a little while and ended up transferring back and starting to take computer courses and found I loved it. So I ended up taking a package in 2001 and started doing computer training. And I am not a techie, so I'm always trying to find ways to do things without having to know code and different things like that. And I'm not exactly sure how I found Paper.li, which is what I'm going to talk about today. But once I started working with it and realized how easy it could be and that I didn't need to know code, and started to find out even more of the things it was capable of, then I really got hooked on it. So I'm going to be talking about that, and Paper.li has kind of gotten a bad rap because the downside to it is that it's almost too easy. So people kind of set it and forget it, and if you don't tweak it at least a little bit, then you can end up getting curated content pulled into your paper that isn't necessarily what you want. So I've been kind of on a mission to show people how they can have a very focused online newspaper and more, which we're going to show you.
Great. So you've got a lot to show us, and I'm really excited to learn about this. I tried Paper.li a while back and have not really done much with it since. So maybe I need to be doing a whole lot more with it. You're going to convince me, right?
Yes, I hope
Good.
so.
Thanks. Let's get started.
Okay, so I am going to share my screen first of all. So I'm going to go, can you see my Paper.li screen, David?
I can. It looks really good.
Good.
Nice and
okay. Okay, so this is just the general Paper.li screen, and for any of you that aren't familiar with Paper.li, it is an online platform that allows you to create your own newspaper using curated content. So it pulls in content from the internet, and it can be your own or other people's or both, and you can have it as focused to a specific topic as you want it to be. It just takes a little bit of tweaking and you're good to go. As I mentioned before, it does take a little bit of training at the beginning just to get it to know what it is that you want. And then once it does, it's very good at pulling in the kind of content that you'd like. And they've done a lot of updates recently so that you can, if you do know code, you can do use CSS, which I don't even know what that is, but you can use that to make a really fancy one. but we're not going to worry about that today. We're just going to do the non-techie ones. And they've also fixed it so that it looks good whether on any of the mobile applications. And we're also going to look at the fact that you can take that newspaper and you can get the HTML code and send it out as a regular newsletter to your email list, which has been very helpful to me because a lot of times I either don't have the time or I don't necessarily know what to write. So it really has been a help in that way. So first of all, we're going to sign in, and they've made some changes in how it looks. It may look quite a bit different than it did when you first signed up, David. And sometimes you don't even see this little sign in part on the right-hand side. So if you don't, there's a little Paperly icon here, and if you click it, you will get the sign in ability here. Once you, I'm just going to go back to that for 1 second before I, oops, sorry about that. We're back into the paper. Okay, I'm going to sign in. And we can sign in with Twitter or Facebook. I usually sign in with Twitter because that's pulls in a little bit more information about you. So I'm just going to sign in. And I have 2 papers that I've created. One is my regular paper, which we'll look at a little bit later on, just because there are some special things I want to show you on it. And this one that we're looking at right now is a test paper that I have. Now, you can have a free Paperly paper, and a lot of people have all kinds of free ones. I think you can have up to 10. And you can have a paid paper. Now, both of these ones I have are paid versions, and it's $9 a month per paper, but there are a lot of advantages to having a paid version. One of the advantages, and I keep getting messages that my computer's performance is slow, so hopefully you're not having any problems with seeing what I'm doing here.
No, it's looking fine. You're doing fine.
Good, good. Okay, so one of the things for the paid version is that you can edit your paper before it goes out. So if there's anything that isn't targeted to your people, isn't topic specific, you can deal with it and delete it or move it around, whatever you want to do with the editing before the paper goes out. If you have the free version, it just is automatically sent out to anyone who subscribes, plus they send it out via Twitter, and you have to kind of rush in and change the editing in case there's anything that you don't want. So that's one reason why it's good to have the paid version. Also, you can customize your header. You can put your own ads because the free version has 4 ad spaces, and it has their Google ads, which may or may not have anything to do with your paper. So if you have the paid version, you can either decide to have no ads on it, or you can include your own ads. So, and also the ability to take the HTML code and send it to your newsletter subscribers using a Weber or MailChimp or something like that. That's also a premium paid version. So we're just going to start with some of the different things, and I can't show you everything in this amount of time, but I'm going to show you some of the main things as far as customizing. So first of all, I've got this just saying membership paper, and I tried to pull in some things, David, for you and for some of the people in the NAMS community.
I saw that. That looks great.
And I didn't have to do anything other than just adding a few people as content sources. So first of all, we're going to put a little bit of a banner here instead. So we need to just click here, and we'll go down to layout and appearance. So we'll do that first, and we'll click look and feel and top banner. So right now the top banner's off, So it's just saying membership paper. So I want to, oops, and my banner link here was for Solo Smarts because I've been experimenting with all different things here. So say my banner link was mynams, and it's mynams dot, it's not .com, right, David?
Yes, it is.
Oh, is it? Okay, .com. And you can show the paper title on top of the banner, below the banner, or you can hide it all together. So once I upload an image, I'll hide it all together. So I'm going to click Upload Image, and I've got to go into my documents. Sorry, I didn't have this part already. So just quickly get to this part. And Paperly. And I want to go to this. So I've got some things that I took out, so I'm going to use these as images. So I've got a header here. So I'm just going to click this and upload that. And I want to hide the paper title. And that's it. So I have now got a banner image.
Now,
so that was very easy.
Oh, and it's different from when I was back in there because you couldn't do that before, and that makes it really very congruent with your site, right?
Yes, yes. And you can, I've got some colors on the sides, and those I put in at the beginning when I was fiddling around with this, because you can do a paper background. And it can be a background color or it can be a tiled image. And I found that very fiddly because the tiled image, no matter what different images I tried, it didn't seem to look very good. And then the background colors, once you get them in, it's really hard to get them back out again. So that's the reason the blue is still there, because I've had a hard time getting it out. So the best is not to bother with it in the first place. So, okay, so once we've got that in, another thing that we're going to do is figure out a little bit about the content that we're going to have. So we can click on Content, and you can have whatever language you want. And I've got a few sources already in here, as you can see. And to put your sources in, you just up here it says search for anything. You just type in a keyword, a hashtag phrase, whatever you'd like, a person's name, and it'll start pulling in information. And it will, you can select from Twitter, YouTube, Google+, and as you can see, I've got quite a few different ones. And you can also select RSS feeds. So your content language down here is, I've got English, but you can change that if you want to. Now down here where it says paper sections, I have most of them selected, and it's in as easy as just clicking. So for instance, if I didn't want sports, I can just deselect it by doing that. So now I did initially have it very selective as far as these different categories, and a lot of them I didn't bother leaving selected, but I found that for the ad placement it's better if you have quite a few of them. And this is a tip when I was experimenting, that you're allowed the 4 ads, but sometimes one of the ads wouldn't show up. No matter what I did, I could only get 3 of the ads to show up on the paper. And I found out it was because you need to have at least 5 topics and 2 hashtags, or 6 topics and 1 hashtag. So that's why you need to have at least half a dozen of these different things. And then if there isn't any, any news for a certain category, they just won't pull it in. And I've got videos selected, so it'll pull videos in as well. I've got trending hashtags selected, and by trending hashtags, it doesn't mean that whatever is popular at the time, like celebrities or whatever, is what are the hashtags that'll be pulled in. It's the hashtags that are trending as far as the topics that you've selected and the tweets that you've selected. So it's more topic specific than it seems at first glance. Photos, and these are just on-off switches, as you can see, so it's just a matter of clicking it off or on. Photos I usually leave off, mainly because I find that the photos they bring in are a lot harder to have topic specific. A lot of times they're photos I wouldn't want. And they do pull in photos that go with the content, so it's not like you won't have any photos at all.
Okay, so let's make sure we understand that. So photos that are on the Paperly site that you build are automatically brought in from blog posts or whatever.
Yes.
Whether you're doing, whether you say to include photos or not, right?
Yes. If
okay.
And I'll just go to a couple of these so you can see what I mean. If they're just trying to find some that, okay, for instance, this has a photo there. So if there was a photo with the post, and these ones as well have photos, so then it will bring them in. But it won't have a specific photo topic area. Like up here it says videos. There would be one that says photos beside it, and it would be just photos, and that's the one that I find really hard to control.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Thank you.
So, but the photos is much easier to control, I find anyway. So back to our content sources. Once you've got some of your content things in, you can filter them, and that's what these little funnel things are, is you can filter any of these so that they're very topic specific. So all of these words, you can use quotes to have exact phrases, or just have words, and it just means that it would have to have all of the words before it would pull something in, if it was that first part there. The second part, any of these words, anything you type there, if any of those words or phrases are in the content, it will pull it in. And then none of these words, if you want to make sure you don't ever have certain things, you can put that information there. So it is possible to filter. If you filter too much, then you might have a problem with not getting enough content. And I don't filter a whole lot, but that is an option. So.
Okay, that's almost like basically doing Google searches then.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, and if you wanted to search for anything, so say I wanted to just say, give me a keyword.
I think I built one on affiliate marketing before.
Affiliate marketing?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I'll affiliate marketing. So I'll just enter that, and then it loads sources. So then I can just click the little plus for any that I want, and you can have up to 25 content sources. And then it will pull things in on a regular basis. So as well as this 25, there are other ways of getting content that I'll show you in a minute as well, but these are the 25 that would be on a regular basis. So
I assume the plus sign means that you can add or subtract those sources, right?
Well, you just can add them, so they're not in there right now. So I can start adding any of these. So say I wanted tweets mentioning affiliate marketing, I would just click that.
Okay.
And then Facebook, you don't see anything until you actually click down here. And post mentioning affiliate marketing. So that's as specific as you can get for Facebook. And Google Plus, it will show you pages and users, so you can do any of those as well. And then RSS feeds, it will show you if there are any, and then you can choose any of those. And then the same with your YouTube channels.
Wow, that's pretty powerful.
Yes, so you can have up to 25 of those. Okay, and I'm just going to, oh, and the other thing, once you do, I'm just going to go back to my things here, my sources. So once I've got my sources there, if there are some sources that you find that are pulling in a lot of content and you don't want all the content to be from, say, TechCrunch or something like that, then you can change the position of these things, and the higher they are to the top of your selected sources, then the more content they're going to be pulling in from those sources. So if I wanted more from Nicole, for instance, I could put her up a little bit higher.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so it's just a matter of dragging and dropping.
So Art is asking a question here. It's a pretty good one. He says, those 25 sources are all of the keyword phrases, all over the keyword phrases that you entered, right? It's just those keyword phrases.
It can be keyword phrases, it can be hashtags, whatever you've put in your searches. It can be individuals, so whatever you've searched for and added as your selected sources. So it can be, there are some people that don't use any of these, and mainly all they do is pull in their own content. And that's another possibility.
And that would be great for doing like a weekly distribution of your content, right?
Yes, like there's a lady here that she sends all of her, anything she finds, she will tweet out the links, and then it pulls in those links that she tweeted out, and that creates her paper.
Okay.
So it all has her name, and then it'll have the name of the actual where it came from originally, but shared by her for the whole paper. So yeah, I'm not going to go to the ad units for a second here. So the top banner we have done, and the next one was the...
I'm sorry, I wanted to ask you about the top banner for a second. Because
Sure.
the top banner was an image that you captured from my site, right?
Yes.
It's
Yeah,
not
all
live.
I did was... No, all I did was... But what you do, though, is... I'll just click on there again. I've got a banner link there. So when people go to this, the banner, they can click through and go to wherever you've put the link.
Okay. So my point is that not only did you take the banner site, but it's got Gary's picture up there from a couple of weeks ago when we did a live training, right?
Yes.
And I could have actually created a little ad myself up there that says something like, click here to get a free report or whatever.
Yes.
So it can be a list building opportunity for you too.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And the same with the ads. When we get to that part, you'll see you can do that
Okay.
for the ads as well. So the paper thumbnail, it's off right now. I'm just going to show you what a paper thumbnail is, first of all. So for that, I've got to go over here to the newsstand. So Paperly has all kinds of different papers. Now, this is an example of, this is the thumbnail for my regular paper, the Online Success Weekly. This is the paper that we're working on right now. That's my testing paper. So it just says membership paper, and because I haven't changed that title, I should have changed it, even though it's hidden. I should have still said NAMS or something like that on it, and then that's what would appear at the top. And since I didn't upload an image, it's pulling in this graphic, which was my my cover story because it was something about PLR from Nicole's site, I think, and it was about heating and air conditioning or something. So that's why that image is there. Now, if I'm just going to show you these ones that have just the big P. These are ones that they're free ones that people have not put any kind of an image or anything on them. So this is what the thumbnail looks like if you don't have anything there.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm just going to go back again where we were.
You know, Carol, I'm still stuck on the banner and different ways of using that, because that seems like if you have a link there, you have a powerful opportunity. So if you are and let's use MyNAMS as an example, if you're a MyNAMS member and you have an affiliate link, you could create your own NAMS paper pulling content from our site with an affiliate link to in the banner that would drive people back to the site.
Yes, yes.
Wow, there's all kinds of opportunities there. That's great.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to refresh this page because it wasn't showing there. Okay, now it's showing what it should be showing. And I'll go back to where the headlines are. So see this picture there that was in my headline article, that's what was showing up as the thumbnail.
Right.
Now, the other way of getting content is with the Paperly tool. So I'm just going to show you. When I clicked on that, down here it says add content to your paper from anywhere on the web. You drag this little Paperly bookmark up, and I've got it up here on my toolbar. So once that's there, any websites that I happen to go to that it doesn't have to be, it can be a blog post, or a video. If I go to the site, I can use this little Paperly and pull in the information and add it to my paper, and that's not included as one of my 25 sources. And I'm just going to see if there's something. I should have had YouTube open, and I didn't, but anyway, let's just go to it now and see if I can find something here to show you what I mean. So say I had, wait a sec here, I'm just going to go to my channel for a second. Alright, so say I had this video, and I'm just going to make sure it doesn't start going. Alright, and I wanted to add it to my paper. I could just click the little Paperly icon and it will open. At least it's supposed to open. Nothing's happening right now. Okay. If it were working properly,
yeah,
it should open, and then you'd be able to see, I don't know, I'll try one other one just in case it's...
Looks like it's a JavaScript error down the bottom.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Maybe, yeah. Try it again.
I'll try again with this one and see. No, nothing's happening.
It may be a conflict with Webinar Jam from JavaScript. You don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. nicoleonthenet.com. Let's try going to that. Okay, so we'll go to Nicole's site and say we wanted a specific post. Then we're going to go to the post and click on the Paperly. There, now it's doing what it should be doing. And it gives us two options. The option to just pull in that blog post, to pull in the RSS feed as well, and if it was a video, it would just be the one option. So as long as I don't pull in the RSS feed, that's not included in my 25 sources. So I could pull that in. So then I just select the paper. So say I want it in the membership paper, and you can decide what category you want it in. They tell you what they think it might be, but you can change it if you like. And then you just click Add to Paper. And it's as simple as that. So as you're surfing the internet and you find things you'd like to share, then you can easily do it that way.
Very nice.
So, and when it's, this is something I was going to mention before and then I kept forgetting what it was. When you're filtering your content sources and you're typing in your keywords, it will look at the tweets for those words, and then as far as the RSS feeds, it'll look at the titles of the posts. So that's how it pulls in the content when you filter it.
Okay.
Okay, so we looked at the Paperly tool, and I'm going to show you now how to do the ads. So if we click on Layout and Appearance, and we're going to go into Ad Units. So you've got 4 choices. So there's headlines, page 1, or position 1, 2, and 3, and I think it was position 3 that if you didn't have enough categories and hashtags, then you wouldn't see that one. And then the topic page is, because right now you're seeing the main page, and then if you click on each of these topics, you would go to a topic page, so you can have a different ad for those ones as well. So the headlines page, so if I click on it first of all, and to show the ad, you're going to just click the little button to turn it on. So you can click just an image, and then you can upload an image, and you can have a link with the image, or you can do custom HTML, so you can copy your HTML code in there, or you can have Google AdSense. Now it's not giving me that option right now because I don't have the code and everything set up for this paper, but that is an option. So you can put your own AdSense.
So you'd be able, this would be a place where you could actually go in and grab banner code from Commission Junction or somebody else, or us even, and drop it into the custom HTML code, right?
Yes, yes. Okay. So I'm just, for this example, I'm just going to upload an image because that's the easiest way to do it. So to upload an image, I just click on that. So say I wanted this ad, then I would just click that one. Then the ad is there, and I can add my link. So whatever link I wanted to, and click Save, and there we go. That's all there is to it.
Good.
So you can do that and have them show up 3 down the page, and then have a totally separate one on your other pages. So see, there's nothing there on your topic pages, so let's just add one more to the topic page. So we'll turn it on as well and use another image, upload, and say for this one I wanted to put this. So with your HTML code, you can put all kinds of different things as well. So I can have my link and put in whatever I want there. So now, if I go to a page, and there it is. So it's fairly simple to put any of those things in. And as well as that, you can also put a Twitter widget. So I'm going to go back to here.
I noticed there that you even have my Aweber RSS feed in there, so all my emails are coming in there. as well.
Yes, it can.
Cool.
So for this one, I'm going to go layout widgets. So I've got these turned on right now. So I've got an RSS feed button turned on, Facebook commenting widget turned on, and the email is turned on. So it's just a matter of off or on for those.
Okay. Now Teresa's asking a question about that. She says, can you have different ads on different topic pages, or just one ad that goes on all topic pages?
There's just one place for topic pages, yes, and then the other three.
Okay.
Now the Twitter widget is off right now, so I'm going to click it, and it says you can show a Twitter timeline widget on your paper's front page. So I'm going to turn that on, and then we need the widget code. So to get that, you click on to Twitter, and I'm going to click Create New.
I recognize that hotel, by the way.
And you can have a user timeline. You can have your favorites. You can have a list, any list that you'd like, that you've created from Twitter. You can choose whatever list it was. In fact, I've got a NAMS list. So I can just take that, and then you just click Create a Widget.
Wow, that's the first time I've seen being able to pull in a favorites tab there, because I use favorites in Twitter as testimonials, because I always favorite the ones where people are saying wonderful things.
Yes.
You have a whole list of testimonials in there.
Yes, and it'll show up on your page there. So I'm going to
Cool.
copy that, and then I'm going to go back here and paste the widget code here. So I'm going to paste it. Code looks good. Save it. And let's see how it looks. We got to go to our headlines page because that's where it's going to show. And there we go.
Nice.
So, and it's live. It's a live feed.
And there's lots of our NAMS folks. Excellent.
Yep. And down here you can see the discussion corner. That's so that you can comment on Facebook, because we turned on that option. So, and then we want to be able to edit the paper. So there's just a couple more things I was going to show you. So I usually try to edit things before I send them out, because there might be something that I want to highlight and something that I don't necessarily want maybe on the front page, or maybe not in the position on the front page that it is. So if I click Edit, and the way that I do it, just because I find it a lot faster, is I go to each of these, just quickly to each of the pages, and as long as you're in edit mode, you'll see all these little options. So I can make any of these a featured article on my front page, or I can delete it totally. I can blacklist the person, which means the paper won't pull in anything from that person anymore. Or I can just blacklist the website, because sometimes what the person shares might be fine, but maybe you don't like the website. So you do have those options. So I usually just very quickly scroll down and just see if there's anything that maybe I don't necessarily need, and if there's anything that I think might be good for. So anything that I think would be good for the front page, I put all of them on the front page at once, and then I can deal with it after. It's just an easier way to do it for me. So say I liked that one. Say I didn't want the medical malpractice, I could just delete that article. So it's very easy just to change whatever you want to on here. And some of them you'll see they have the little option to move them. So you can move you can change what category they're in. So if you didn't want it in stories, you could put it in one of the other ones instead. Or you can drag it up to be in a different position on the page. And so once I'm finished doing that, and I go back to my headlines, and now you can see that I've got something different on my first headline. But even here, I can remove things from the headlines. So if there's some things that I decided I don't want to, and I can also change positions. So say I wanted client retention strategies, say I wanted that to be my main article, I can put it there. So it's very easy to change it as far as what you want in the front, in the header page, and what you don't. And you can do the same thing with your videos. Just delete them, any that you don't want.
Paperly's gotten very powerful, hasn't it?
Yes, it can do a lot more now than it could a while ago, I think. But a lot of people don't take the time, as I mentioned, to edit it. So sometimes things will pull in, because there are people that, especially on Twitter, they will share things that aren't necessarily to do with your topic. So if you don't spend any time to do any editing, then you can end up with a paper that's not very focused at all. So, and you can also, I forgot to mention this, you can have your paper going out once a day, twice a day, or once a week. So I have once a week for mine, but it's up to you how often you want to do yours.
And once a week would be really great for doing like a weekly recap, right?
Yes, yes.
Is that what you're doing?
Yes, and I also use it for keeping up with what's going on in, you know, in the general online marketing, social media arena, because it will be pulling in all this different information, and I may not have had a chance to see a lot of the different articles. So when I see them on my paper, then I can choose to share them on Hootsuite. I can, you know, read them at my leisure, whatever I want to do with them.
Okay.
So, okay, so another thing, once you've got it edited and the way that you'd like it to be, you can send it out to your social media people. And for that, I'm going to go back. I'm going to go to my paper, just because I've got mine all set up properly as far as my categories. So here's mine. And if we go into promotion and emails, I've got my Twitter, my Facebook, and my LinkedIn all done. And also, people can subscribe right here. So you can have, even if you didn't have a website, you could still have your paper, and people can subscribe. And then when your newsletter is published, they will get their copies, because it'll send out to them by email. So my Twitter, my Facebook, and my LinkedIn. Now, most people don't bother doing anything with this. They just leave it the way it is, but you can customize it so that it can say whatever you'd like it to say instead of what their default is. And this part where it says include mentions, I've got that turned off right now. If you turn it on, it takes information, so there's pluses and minuses to it. It will take, for instance, on this, I've got Steve Dotto is one of the people whose articles are in this paper, so it will say things like, there, I just turned it on so you could see, stories via Dottotech, Hootsuite, and myself. So it's the people that are mentioned here, they will get notification from Twitter that I've mentioned them. So a lot of times that's good. So it's up to you if you want to include mentions or not.
And you would do that because then they would distribute your paper, possibly.
Yes, you get on people's radar. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, Facebook and LinkedIn are a little bit different. So you can change the text from the default, which I've done, and you can share the headline article for your paper, or you can share the paper information. So either one. It's up to you.
Okay.
And LinkedIn, the same.
Okay.
Okay. But if you take that extra minute or two to change your post text so it doesn't look the same as the majority of the ones that you see in the Twitter feeds, then it just stands out a little bit more.
Is there any way to integrate your subscriptions, your list building here with your Aweber, Infusionsoft, GetResponse, whatever you're using?
Just as far as sending this out to my email list, which I'm going to do last.
Okay.
Yeah,
but there's no way to actually add people to your list unless you send them through an ad or your banner or something to sign up.
Yeah, you could have your email opt-in form on the side of it.
That's what I'm asking.
Yes, you can have it there.
Okay, good.
Now, here where it says send notifications now, this is the option, since I have the premium version, that it's not going to go out until I click this, and then it'll go out to Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. It will be emailed to any subscribers I have, and so all those notifications will go out, but not until I click that. So I have a chance to edit first, and then I will send the notification. Okay? Now, I think the HTML newsletter was the last thing I was going to show you, and then...
While you're looking and getting that up, we've got a question I want to throw out here. It says, it's from Sandra, and it says, so this is like an article aggregator rather than curation because you don't add your comments on the articles, right?
No, you don't add your comments.
Okay.
Other people can add their comments in this discussion corner. So it can be...
and those would be like Facebook comments to your post, basically.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So then, if I want to send the newsletter out, I'll click again, and I'm going to go to Promotion and Emails, and I'm going to click Email. And here where it says down at the bottom, and you can add other things here if you do all the code stuff, which I haven't done any of it.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing that they've just started allowing now, you can add a message to the newsletter before you send it out. So it used to be that you could get the HTML code of this paper and you could send it to your email list, but you couldn't add anything to it. But now you can add a message. So I've got this turned on, add a message, and I have Want to Focus newsletter to share with your clients, and then this text and a link. So all of that will be added to my newsletter when I send it. So I'm going to click Export HTML, and then I'm going to click it and copy it. And now I'm going to go to my Aweber. So I've got it already open here. And I want to do a broadcast. So I'm going to code my own HTML, which I would never be able to do without this.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to click that. Come on, Aweber.
I've noticed them being a little slow lately, too.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Somebody asked me a question while we're waiting.
Let me see if there are any questions actually while we're waiting for that. So let's see. I think we answered that. We answered that. So what I'm seeing, though, from my own observation as we're going through this, and I'm looking at the questions here, is that you can do a lot to monetize and create a lot of list building activity in your Paperly, and you can also use it as part of your own website. It seems like if you make it look like your own website and just send out a great little newsletter at the end of the week.
Yes, and there is an embed option with the paid version that you can embed the code into a page of your website. Yeah.
You have mentioned paid versus free a couple of times. What's the cost of the paid? Do you know?
$9 a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pretty cheap.
Mm-hmm. So I'm in the HTML code now, so I'm just going to click to turn it to the white background and insert my subject. I'm just going to say online. I'm just doing this quickly, so weekly. Okay, I would say something more than that, but for now that'll do. And I'm just going to right click and paste my code and save it. Now when I save it, you're going to see how it looks, because I always like to test it first and send it to myself. So when I test it, you can see how it's going to look. So this is what is going to be sent to my list. So at the top is the information that I've added about contacting me and information that I wanted. So you can change that as often as you send your newsletter out. You can change that. And all of this. So it looks pretty good.
It does.
Yeah. And because of the way they've fixed it lately, it looks nice like this if you're using a tablet or an iPhone or something like that. They had trouble with that at first, but apparently it looks really good no matter what you're looking at it from now. So, and then that's it. Then I just would have to send it out. So, and then when people get it, they can, if they click on it, then it'll go right to my paper online.
Oh, so it doesn't expand there. It just takes you to the. It's like a URL to your site.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
So I think those were the main things that I wanted to show you.
So are you teaching this, Carol?
Yes. I'm just going to close this. Right now, I've created a little guide because I've been experimenting with all different ways that you could use this. So I've created a guide called 5 Ways to Make Money, Build Exposure, and Drive Traffic for under $10 a month by leveraging other people's content. So there's more than 5 ways because I've got 3 in 1 for the first one, so there are 7 ways actually. So I have this report, and I'm selling it right now for $7, and that includes a bonus video example, some examples of best practices and things to avoid with your paper, and also it's an invitation to a private webinar that I'm going to be having with case studies showing how different people are actually using Paperly for, let me see, for nonprofits, for businesses, for a lot of different ways that people are using Paperly, and some of them are using CSS, and they're absolutely amazing looking papers. So that's what the case studies are going to be about during the webinar. And I have had people that I've been working with recently to help them with their Paperlys because they're in businesses that They can't necessarily have their own website. One of them is a financial advisor, and another one is a real estate broker. So they want to set themselves apart from their peers, and they're using Paperly to do that.
That seems really pretty cool. That this is a great little tool. So I've created a link in here, and you should be able to see this at nams.ws/ipaper.
Okay.
And you will also see a little pop-up, I think, that I've tried to create here. I'm still learning how to use Webinar Jam correctly, but if you look down at the bottom, I believe, of your Webinar Jam bar, you're going to see a pop-up down there that has your newspaper link. But if not, just go to the nams.ws/ipaper and take a look at that. Exactly what Carol was showing you. So this is really cool, Carol. I'm looking forward to digging into this and creating a weekly roundup. I've been really remiss at creating a weekly roundup for our NAMS community because it was so much work when you do it by hand. Mm-hmm. And even Aweber's templates were a lot of work. Mm-hmm. So this would be a great way for us to do a newspaper roundup as well. So I think this is awesome.
Good. Glad
so
you liked it.
Yeah, it is, and you showed us a lot of good things with it and how to keep track of folks that we want to include that are not in our website. It's like getting more content in your website all the time. So go to nams.ws/ipaper, iPaper, I-P-A-P-E-R, nams.ws/ipaper, and grab that from Carol as soon as you can.
Good.
So Carol, anything else you want to say before we go?
No, I'm working on a training course as well. It's in the works for going step by step through the whole thing, but it's a number of videos, over 50, so it's taking me a little bit of time, but that's what's next on my plate.
Well, we're going to have, people are asking about recording for this, and yes, it's going to be recorded. As soon as I stop the broadcast here, it'll go to YouTube, and we will get it up on our site, as well as it'll be on Google Plus for a while. And, Carol, thank you again. This was awesome. Oh, let me just say one other thing. Mm-hmm. I want people to know that Carol is one of our new instructors at NAMS this August, and she is going to be teaching. We have, out of our 110, 115 instructors who have been at NAMS, we have maybe 10 to 20 who have started as students and worked their way into instructor roles, and Carol's one of those. She's just been a real trooper, and I'm really excited to see you doing so well with the coaching that you're doing on the social network. Good.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Stacy Myers asked me, on a scale of 1 to 10, how badly do you want to present at NAMS? And I said, an 8.
Well, good. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks, Carol.
You're very welcome.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Yes, bye.